Hey Grant, it's Kayla. I got this spot I want you to check out. If you have some time today, give me a ring back. I'd love to get you on the water. No way, dude! Your first fish on fly rod! Welcome back. My name is Kayla Lockhart, and in this video, we'll be breaking down some knots, finally getting out on the water with Grant, and more importantly, talking about finding fishing spots. Let's get started.
Hey, Kayla.
Hey Grant! I'm so glad you're able to make it out.
I know, I'm excited we finally get to fish together.
Yes.
How did you even find this spot?
It looks fishy, right?
Kinda.
Trust me, I do this all the time.
Okay, all right, I trust you.
Finding new fishing spots is one of my favorite things to do. Local ponds, beaches, and streams can be great spots to try. There are tons of resources you can use to get started, such as local clubs, fly shops, or your local fishing game websites. However, any local knowledge you can use, fishing buddies, blogs, they're all great resources. Ultimately, you can always fish where you are. A good approach is to start with the species of fish you are interested in catching. With that in mind, you can start to narrow down the locations you should consider. Today, for example, we are looking for panfish, which is a great fish for anglers to start with. Got a little gift for you.
Seriously? Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we haven't covered knots yet, have we?
No, not at all.
All right, well, let's teach you some basics and get you rigged up.
Awesome, let's do it.
If you don't want to lose fish, you'll need to learn some knots in your fly fishing journey. And here are 4 essential knots: the clinch knot, the double surgeon's knot, blood knot, and a perfection loop. Let's start with a loop-to-loop connection. These are frequently used in fly fishing, often to attach a leader to a fly line, but there are many applications for this. Fly lines are often built with welded loops at their ends. Leaders also often come with loops tied at the end of their butt section, and it attaches to the fly line. It's easy to join 2 pieces of material that already have loops in them. Pass the loop of the fly line through the loop of the leader, grip the end of the leader, and thread it through the loop of the fly line. Then simply pull the rest of the leader through. You know when you have a good loop-to-loop connection when you push the loops of the attached materials together and they easily slide. In the event that you want to make a loop-to-loop connection, but one of the pieces of materials does not already have a loop in it, you can use a knot called the perfection loop. To tie a perfection loop, form a loop at the end of the line by passing the tag end behind the standing line, loop A. Take a turn around the standing line, forming a second loop. Hold in place and take another turn around the line, this time crossing on the top side of the new loop. Hold the tag end in place and pass loop B through loop A until the knot cinches tight. Then trim the tag end. The next task we must do is to add tippet to the end of our leader. We'll be joining 2 lines together here. So one of my go-to knots is the double surgeons. To tie this knot, you'll need a section of tippet. Lay a small section of the tippet alongside the end of the leader. Remember, we are going to extend the length of the leader, so overlap a small section of the tippet to be added with the end of the leader, but leave most of the tippet extending away. Grasp the overlapping sections of the leader and tippet and create a loop in both by folding one side over the top of the other. Next, pass both the end of the leader and the tippet section through the loop from back to front. Do this one more time, then moisten the knot and tighten. Another way to add tippet to your leader is with a blood knot. To tie a blood knot, overlap 4 to 6 inches of the end of the leader with 4 to 6 inches of the end of the tippet section. Cross the 2 strands, forming an X. Then bring the 2 tag ends to the opposite sides. Make sure to leave about 4 to 6 inches of your tag ends on each side. Holding the standing end of each strand in the last 2 fingers of each hand, start by winding the tag end of the tippet around the standing part of the leader, working away from the X. Using your thumb and forefinger to make 5 to 6 wraps, keep the loop that is formed at the X open by pinching it with your thumb and forefinger of the hand you are not using to wind.
Pass the tag end you have just been winding through the loop at the X. Repeat with the other end, wrapping in the opposite direction with the same number of turns. Moisten the knot and pull on both standing lines quickly. The barrels on both sides of the knot should form neat coils that will tighten the knot. Then trim the tag ends close to the knot and you are finished. Now that we have covered connecting our leader to our fly line and our tippet to our leader, we are ready to tie on a fly. One of the most commonly used knots for tying your fly onto your tippet is a standard clinch knot. The standard clinch knot is made by first passing the terminal end of the tippet through the eye of the hook of your fly. Pull the tippet through the hook eye and bring it up alongside the other side of the tippet. Next, twist the end of the tippet that passed through the hook eye around the other side of the tippet 5 to 7 times. Lastly, take the tag end of the tippet and pass it through the small loop between the two parts of the tippet, just above the hook eye. Moisten the knot and tighten, then you can use nippers to remove the small tag end from the knot.
To get to the next step of being a proficient angler, you'll need to know these knots. They are going to be the bread and butter throughout your fly fishing journey. That looks awesome. I think we're ready to catch a fish now.
Let's do it.
All right, Grant, what do you see?
A small creek and some trash.
Look in the water. What do you really see?
I see some current. I see some rocks and some trees.
Yes, now you're starting to think like a fish.
Think like a fish.
Yes, to catch a fish, we have to think like a fish. So for example, there's a fast flowing current right there feeding into a slower current. A fish is gonna wanna conserve their energy and let the food come to them. So if you were the fish, where would you be right here?
Sitting in this deeper pool.
Exactly, you're getting it. Let's get our flies in there.
Okay.
When you take that approach and apply it to any body of water, the potential of finding fish is endless. Make sure you look up your state regulations and the private versus public land areas around you to ensure you're fishing safely and responsibly. No way, dude! Your first fish on fly rod! That's awesome! What a beautiful fish. All right, if you wanna bring your rod tip close to me. Wow,
Yay.
Look at the colors on this fish.
Beautiful.
That is so cool. My time is coming to a close with Grant, but let's recap what we've learned thus far. We learned what is fly fishing, how to rig up our rods, 4 essential knots, 4 different types of flies, some basic tools that you should have in your pack, how to fly cast, where to go, and fish behavior. At this point, not only are you ready to fish, but you're ready to take the next step.
Hey man, what do you have in your hand? I got some fly rods. For the past couple days, I've been fly fishing, and actually Kayla gave me a rod to give to you.
Oh, wait, that was that girl that we were talking to earlier.
Yeah, if you want, we'll get it set up. We can take a couple casts, try to catch a fish.
Hey, let's do it.
Awesome, let's do it.
As you take these new skills to your local water, always remember that with practice and a bit of guidance, you can not only surprise yourself, but surprise your friends. We've got one more episode for y'all. Next time, we're telling fish stories and talking about the intangible benefits of connecting with the fly fishing community in your area. Thanks for watching.